December 2017. It's timely for multiple reasons. One, we just turned the calendar to December here 4 years later in 2021. But if you're a 49ers fan and you remember December 2017, you probably have mixed emotions. That was Kyle Shanahan's first season. And the first season started as an absolute drag. The 49ers were 1-10 before December 2017. But the trade for Jimmy Garoppolo happened on Halloween of that year. And then finally, after much hand wringing about when he would finally start, he took the field for the first time on December 3rd, 2017, which I believe is today the second or the third? Today's the second. So tomorrow will be the 4 year anniversary when Jimmy Garoppolo first started for the 49ers at Chicago that season. They became the first team in NFL history to begin 1-10 and finish 6-10, meaning that they won 5 straight games under Jimmy Garoppolo, who had a fantastic end to that 2017 season. If you looked at all the efficiency stats, Garoppolo that season was number one across the board in the NFL. He was so impressive that it earned him what was at the time in 2018 the largest contract in NFL history. But the reason that I bring up mixed emotions in December 2017 is because it all ended way too abruptly, way too quickly, right? When the 49ers played their final game against the Rams on New Year's Eve of that 2017 year, they were on a tear, but there was nowhere else to go. They were, at the end of the day, they were what their record was for the entire season, 6-10. They weren't playoff qualifiers, and the 49ers went home quietly into the night. There was a feeling amongst the team, amongst the fan base of what if? What if Garoppolo had shown up sooner? What if we weren't 6-10 right now? What if we could take this 5 game winning streak where our quarterback was playing the best football of any QB in the league? What if we could take this into the postseason? What would it do? And the 49ers got a little bit of a taste of what it might do, right? They played 2 playoff teams during that 5 game stretch in 2017. They played the Titans, who ended up making the postseason, and then they played the Jaguars the week after. Both of those teams were bona fide postseason teams in that 2017 season. In fact, Jacksonville was ahead late against New England, who ended up going to the Super Bowl that year before blowing it on the road in Foxborough against the Patriots. So both of those wins, Garoppolo was superlative in both of those games against the Titans and the Jaguars. Both of those games showed us what the playoffs might have brought for a 49ers team that was surging in 2017. Well, the reason I bring up that 2017 stretch that earned Garoppolo the contract, that made fans think, what if, that created this whole standard against which we have judged Garoppolo ever since. The reason I bring that up now is because that was 5 games long, right? Jimmy Garoppolo's hot streak in this 2021 season has now lasted 5 games. So we now have a perfect inflection point for comparison. And I will be the first to own up to it. 5 weeks ago, before this hot streak, I wrote about Jimmy Garoppolo's regression, and everything that I wrote was true, so I still stand by it. But Jimmy Garoppolo had, from the point of that 2017 hot streak to 5 weeks ago, had generally regressed over his 4 years with the 49ers. Here you have it. You can see blue is good, red is bad. 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021. For the first time in Jimmy Garoppolo's tenure with the 49ers, he was below average across the board in terms of efficiency in 2021. You see the red across the board. That was following the Indianapolis game. Ever since, and it just so happens that this began with a return to Chicago. Remember that the 2017 run began with a return to Chicago, which is Jimmy Garoppolo's hometown. Ever since, we've seen not only 2017 level play from Jimmy Garoppolo, but better than 2017 level play for Jimmy Garoppolo. So this elusive oasis, this mirage that people have wanted Jimmy to get back to, which was 2017 Jimmy, right? Well, guess what? It's back now. And beyond that, Jimmy Garoppolo has been better over these past 5 games than he was in 2017. Expected points per play, Garoppolo's higher right now. DVOA, he's higher right now. He's 42.5% more effective than the average NFL quarterback adjusted to opposing defenses right now, which is impressive. Success rate, slightly lower, but still extremely high, still number one in the league. And this is interesting because interception stats are part of efficiency stats, right? If you throw a lot of picks, it will impact your efficiency. If you don't throw a lot of picks, it will also impact your efficiency. Garoppolo was below average with a high interception rate in 2017. He's actually thrown 2 picks in 5 games, good for an interception rate of only 1.5% here in 2021. So he's actually cleaned up that part of his game. And if you want to know why Garoppolo's been more efficient now than he was in 2017, it's almost certainly because of the lower interception rate now. CPOE is completion percentage over expectation. As you can see here, it was slightly higher in 2017, but a negligible difference. He's still very accurate now in relation to 2017 when he was also really accurate. That's several percentage points above what you would expect the average quarterback to be. And then finally, this is just a stylistic stat here at the very end, air yards. People harp on air yards a lot, so I included this in there just for comparison. Garoppolo in 2017 threw the ball on average pretty far downfield, 8.9 air yards per attempt. That number had actually dipped if you go back and look at his regression numbers, right? 8.9, 8.8 in 2018. So that's pre ACL numbers. And then post ACL had dipped to 6.5, 6.4, and 7.2. Well, look here. Over the past 5 games, Garoppolo's back over 8.3. So one of the most commonly miscontextualized criticisms of Jimmy Garoppolo. He doesn't throw enough air yards, which is completely stupid. That's fake smart. That demonstrates a lack of understanding for scheme and for football. I just put the air yards up there because it really debunks that. Over the past 5 games, he's been throwing more than 8 yards downfield. The 49ers have opened it up when they've needed to, and it's reflected in the statistics. But the bottom line is that this season, Jimmy Garoppolo has been the most efficient quarterback in football, period. He's been the most efficient quarterback in football. I don't know how else to put it. And that's over the course of the whole season. Over the course of the past 5 games, the gap is very large between Garoppolo's efficiency and number two's efficiency. Number three, number four, number five, those guys are quite a bit of a ways down there. That is very similar to what we saw back in 2017. Now, it's funny because there's a difference between now and 2017 in the public perception of Jimmy Garoppolo from a lunatic fringe of people. The best way I think to gauge this, because it's impossible to gauge it in any other way, is to just look what happens when I post something that actually reflects the truth of how Jimmy Garoppolo is performing efficiency-wise. It'll get a ton of likes, right, or favorites or whatever you call it on Twitter. And then obviously it will get some people engaging, and some people are just so unbelievably upset as 49ers fans that their quarterback is playing well, that they'll argue tooth and nail, and they'll start calling me names just for putting facts out there. But the likes overwhelmingly drown those out. So there's a silent majority working here. I think I'm going to give people more credit than a lot of you probably think I should give them, but I believe in people. I think the vast majority of people, especially when I go out, people come up to me on the street and they want to talk about the quarterback. And, at the stadium too, sometimes I'll walk around a little bit to go see friends or sitting in certain places, and people want to start talking about Jimmy Garoppolo. I think overwhelmingly 49ers fans recognize that he's playing good football. But you have a vocal minority on Twitter, a vocal minority on social media, clickbaiters, people who want to seem smart about this particular topic and get as many clicks of engagement as they can, who will just die, and they're going to go to the grave in denial of the fact that Jimmy Garoppolo could ever play well. To that, let's just go through the track record of what these people have been saying. The 49ers will trade Jimmy Garoppolo in 2021. Well, that ended up wrong. They never traded Jimmy Garoppolo in 2021. They never even got close to trading him because he's a valuable contributor to this team. In fact, I'll tell you what, if this 49ers team didn't have Jimmy Garoppolo, guess where they'd be? Nowhere near contention. Then those same people went on and said the 49ers will release Jimmy Garoppolo in 2021 as the season approached. Well, that ended up wrong too, and that ended up one of the dumbest things I'd ever heard because no contending team would ever let go willingly of the quarterback that would keep them in contention, especially when the rookie behind Jimmy Garoppolo had only thrown the ball 318 times in college at the FCS level. So that was very wrong. Then they moved on to another wrong take. Trey Lance has a real chance to beat out Garoppolo for QB1 in 2021. That was unbelievably wrong because Kyle Shanahan was really clear throughout this 2021 calendar year that Trey Lance was there to learn in 2021 and Jimmy Garoppolo would start, and that it's not an open competition. In fact, those of us who actually knew how to watch a training camp practice realized Garoppolo is taking 98% of the snaps of the first team. Trey Lance might be taking 2%. And every single time that Trey Lance took a first team snap, it was a run out of a read option formation, out of the shotgun. And it was very clear. Shanahan even made it clear that the 49ers were installing specific package plays for Trey Lance. So any intelligent observation of training camp would show you that Trey Lance had no real chance to start at quarterback in 2021. But then the same people said that Trey Lance will beat out Trey Lance for QB1 in 2021. Now it's getting really funny. Now at this point, it got hilarious that you could see Garoppolo taking all the first team snaps as if the 49ers would waste that time in practice. And people started thinking there was like conspiracies or something that Lance would actually turn around and beat him out in week one, despite what their eyes told them, despite the fact that 1 + 1 = 2. So that was wrong again. So then the goalposts moved again, right? So how many things have people been wrong on at this point? Like 5 in a row? 5 out of 5. Okay, so then the goalposts move again. Trey Lance will take over permanently for Garoppolo by the bye week. Well, of course, Garoppolo got hurt before the bye week, so Lance took over against Arizona. But the 49ers would never willingly take the more efficient quarterback out in a season where they're trying to win and throw in the untested rookie. This was another I play Madden too much take. They're not going to just put Trey Lance in there. This is the National Football League, right? You earn your stripes. You have to put in the work to become the more efficient option. Lance wasn't there yet. And I mean, so while this was nowhere close to reality, there was a doubling down again. There's no way that the 49ers can go back to Garoppolo after Lance started one game. That was also wrong. Who cares if the backup quarterback started one game? You're going to go back to your most efficient option. And the most efficient option is Jimmy Garoppolo. So I just challenge you right now, when you look through all of these wrong takes, and I'm counting them, I believe there's 6 of them. There might be 7. I mean, there's more that I even list. When so many of these wrong takes have been, coming from the same people over and over again, as I look at my Twitter mentions, how credible are they when it comes to discussing Jimmy Garoppolo's efficiency? They're not credible at all. So we're just on to the next fallacy. And the next fallacy is Jimmy Garoppolo's not really playing that well this year. Well, we can put that in all caps. That one is wrong, WRONG as well. Jimmy Garoppolo is playing very well over the past 5 games, especially. The efficiency is better than 2017. And that's extremely exciting news for the 49ers, especially because of this right here. This is expected points added per play and success rate on 3rd and 4th downs. Garoppolo in 2017 was number 1 in the league in both EPA per play and success rate on 3rd and 4th downs. Look at 2021 over the past 5 games. Number 1 again, the numbers are even better. So he's been even better over this 5-game stretch in 2021 than he was in 2017. So just as some perspective, because I know that the background noise would lead you to believe that none of this is the case. But the actual numbers, the actual data, they're right there. And people are going to go on Twitter and they're going to try to get as many clicks as they can. And they're going to say, oh, he missed this read. He's throwing off his back foot here, as if they know something that the 49ers of the NFL doesn't about quarterback play. Here's something. If you had all 22 of Joe Montana, if you had all 22 of Dan Marino, John Elway, all these guys, you could find plays to make them look bad on Twitter. It doesn't make you cool. If you actually know the quarterback position, you know that there's missed opportunities left out there all the time. and that the measure of true effectiveness of the quarterback position is at what rate does a quarterback capitalize on opportunities versus how often he misses them. And the way that we measure that, and I'll go over film and I watch the game tape every time. I don't want to plagiarize a lot of this game tape on YouTube though. So I mean, we can we could talk about the throw that Jimmy Garoppolo made on 3rd and 8 to Trent Sherfield. We could talk about the 3rd and 11 to Brandon Ayuk. I mean, we could talk about all the conversions, but the data that we have encapsulating all of them and encapsulating the plays that he's missed is right here. He hasn't missed a whole lot relative to the league when he's number 1 on 3rd and 4th downs in EPA per play, number 1 in 2017, and number 1 in 2021. If you want more data, this is it for you. I'm going to highlight it so you can see it. 3rd and 4th down efficiency since 2017. Number 1, this is since Garoppolo joined the 49ers. Number 1, Patrick Mahomes. Number 2, Garoppolo. Number 3, Andrew Luck. Number 4, Justin Herbert. Number 5, Aaron Rodgers. That's not bad company. Now, if you want something that, may be an issue of concern for the 49ers, it's inconsistency this season on 2nd down. Back in 2017, Garoppolo was number 8 on 1st down, number 7 on 2nd down, and number 5 on 3rd and 4th down. Well, here in 2021, he's number 2 on 1st down and number 1 on 3rd down, but it drops down to number 24 on 2nd down. And I don't have a good answer yet as to why. I even asked Jimmy about it yesterday. He kind of smiled. I think he knew what I was getting at, but he didn't give me a firm answer on that. So it's something that the 49ers are keeping close to the vest. So they want to be better on 2nd down. But guys, the overarching point is that this stretch right here has been amazing. And that brings me to my concluding point. Remember how you felt in 2017 when that season ended so abruptly and you wished that the 49ers had a chance to go to the playoffs and to show what they are made of and to show off Jimmy Garoppolo in the postseason because he had beaten 2 playoff caliber teams in the Jaguars and the Titans. But the 49ers, even how badly they wanted it, despite how badly they wanted that opportunity, didn't have it. They went straight into the offseason. They went straight into playing some golf. Well, look at what you have in front of you right now if you're a 49ers fan or if you're the 49ers as a team. Jimmy Garoppolo has delivered a better 5-game stretch than he did in 2017, and you still have 6 games in front of you, and you're already in the playoff picture. So what the 49ers wanted in 2017, they actually have right now. We could talk about Trey Lance and the future and what the 49ers will do in the offseason in a few months. But right now, we have 6 regular season games remaining to analyze, to break down, and then potentially the playoffs right after that. And if the playoffs started today, the 49ers would be the 6th seed, and they'd be facing the Buccaneers on the road. It'd be Garoppolo against Brady. That'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it? But anyway, why don't we talk about what's actually in front of us right now? And what's actually in front of us is exactly what you wish was in front of you as a 49ers fan, talking to you 49ers fans, back in 2017. So don't get all this twisted about all this, this over-analysis for clicks. I mean, the actual analysis is that Garoppolo's playing really well, the team's playing really well, and nobody's saying that he's without flaws. Obviously, he's got flaws, but the 49ers are doing a good, just like any quarterback, by the way, the 49ers are doing a good job accentuating his strengths, accentuating their roster strengths, and they're ready to go on a run, which they're already on a run. And it continues at Seattle this weekend. So just consider perspective, and perspective shows you that 2017 can be continued right now. And I think that's some really, really cool symmetry. Now the question is, do I open this up for questions? Maybe I should. Maybe I'll regret this. We'll look through right now. Damn, Lombardi is fed up with armchair critics. Well, you just got to put certain people in their place, especially when they turn it into a personal attack against me. I'm here giving you data, efficiency data, fair, black and white, to the point. When Jimmy Garoppolo plays poorly, I write an article about it, as I did right here, about Garoppolo's entire regression. Here's the data. When he plays well, which has been way more often than him not playing well with the 49ers, it's been an injury thing with Jimmy Garoppolo. It's been an efficient quarterback of the 49ers. Remember, number 2 in efficiency behind only Mahomes on 3rd and 4th down since 2017. That's the quarterback's down. He's not hiding behind a run game on third downs. That's the data. I give the data. I get attacked for it. Well, yeah, I'm going to strike back, and I'm right. So that's that's all what we need to know. Let's go down a little bit further. Come on. I want to see some questions. There aren't many questions. I just see comments. Here's a good question. Should the 49ers keep Jimmy Garoppolo next year? I don't think the 49ers know for sure yet. I certainly don't know for sure yet because I look at the 49ers situation and I like Trey Lance. I thought the 49ers should pick Trey Lance way back in January of last year. It's coming up on a year since I wrote my Pick Trey Lance article. I need to find out where Trey Lance is in his development right now. The 49ers are keeping that under wraps. But if Garoppolo is still a significantly better chance for the 49ers to win in 2022, then you probably keep him in 2022 because you're still trying to contend in 2022. The hope, though, is that Trey Lance has closed the gap by now or will have closed the gap by the time that a decision has to come. So, since I believe in Trey Lance, I mean, I wouldn't have recommended the 49ers pick him if I didn't believe in him. I think he will have closed that gap enough by the time that a decision has to come. However, there's one big caveat. If the 49ers win the Super Bowl and Garoppolo is the MVP, and that's not out of the question based on how he's playing right now, right? It may not be a high chance, but you don't know until stuff either does or doesn't happen. So if Garoppolo leads the 49ers to a Super Bowl championship, and this season he can certainly do that with the 49ers defense not being the same that it was in 2019, I think you have to keep Jimmy Garoppolo. And I think that's how the 49ers are thinking about this. So Super Bowl winning season, they will find a way to carry both of these guys into 2022. That's not likely at this point, so I think it's more likely that they trade Garoppolo, and it looks increasingly likely that the 49ers will get a nice return for Jimmy Garoppolo if he continues playing the way that he is. But we shall see. Again, it's a bridge that they don't have to cross until they reach. The 49ers love their option power. Why not keep it until you have to exercise it? Can the 49ers win the Super Bowl this year? Absolutely. It's a free for all in the National Football League. When your quarterback is playing the most efficient ball in the league, you always have a chance. And that's why the 49ers suddenly have a chance. Again, over the past 5 weeks, they've been the top rated team in football in a lot of facets of the game, and their quarterback's been at the top. And in a league of parity, that's absolutely possible. When do you think quarterbacks really hit their stride? I think around the 1,000 attempt mark, quarterbacks really hit their stride. And look, we could put Jimmy Garoppolo, Pro Football Reference. Let's see how many attempts he has now in the National Football League. It's close. He has 1,257 attempts, 280 this season. I highlighted it right there. There's 1,257, 280 this season. Steve Young turned the corner for the 49ers as far as operating from the pocket around the 1,000 attempt mark. So I was really excited to track Jimmy Garoppolo's 2020 season because he was scheduled to cross the 1,000 attempt mark in 2020, but then it was riddled by injuries. So he's really crossed that threshold for all intents and purposes here in 2021. And it's probably because of that no coincidence that Jimmy Garoppolo is playing his best football right now. He's crossed that 1,000 attempt threshold. I don't care if he's on to year 8 or 9 or 10 or 11. It's the attempts that really matter, right? He's back in that pocket, going through the progressions and learning from game experience. That's why the 49ers ultimately want to get Trey Lance into games because that's where he's going to take that next step. You could learn at the start of your career on the scout team, which is where Trey Lance is learning now, which is where Jimmy Garoppolo learned at the start of his career. But ultimately, those attempts have to happen. Those passes, he has to make decisions from a pocket. And Garoppolo is at 1,257 right now. And I think that's about the amount that it takes for quarterbacks in the NFL to hit their stride. Do you think the 49ers are disappointed in Trey's progression? Do not have enough information to know that at this point. I think that I think fans might be disappointed he's not playing right now. But again, I went through all the wrong points of prediction that people have come out with throughout the course of the season. Wrong, 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 wrong. One of the things was, oh, Trey Lance is going to start no matter what this year because they spent a lot of capital on him. No, that's not going to happen. The 49ers are going to protect Trey Lance with Jimmy Garoppolo. They're not going to overexpose him in this 2021 season. So people who thought he would play this year might be disappointed, but I don't think the 49ers, based on that, are. I think the 49ers expected this to be a 2022 at soonest kind of thing for Trey Lance. All right. Good stuff, guys. Thanks for the questions. And I'll leave you with a parting thought. We'll put it up here because I wrote this in my article and I'm going to put this in the comments section. In fact, it should probably be in the chat section right now. It'll be in the comments section within a couple minutes. There's the article. You could sign up for free trial on The Athletic to check it out. But my parting thought is this right here. Is it fair to say that Jimmy Garoppolo relies on the run game? Yes, it is fair to say that Jimmy Garoppolo relies on the run game. But the 49ers run game also relies on Jimmy Garoppolo. This is a team sport. This is complementary football. 49ers don't run 40 times a game if Jimmy Garoppolo is not passing efficiently. And anybody who doesn't understand that doesn't understand the game. So learn the game if you're trying to, hammer on the run game over and over. I mean, yeah, your cliche sounds good. Some people might think you're smart on Twitter, but actual football is a complementary effort. The 49ers run game relies on Garoppolo just as much as Garoppolo relies on the run game, just as much as Steve Young relied on the run game. Joe Montana relied on the run game. Don't even get me started. Right now, enjoy what you're seeing. The 49ers are playing complementary ball. Complementary ball can win them a title. Let's see how they do in Seattle. That's the next step. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening to me. Subscribe to the channel. We'll talk to you all next